All right, thank
We're
you.
recording now.
All right, appreciate it. So, hello everybody. Thank you for taking your time to come to our MAVRC speaker series. I know it's Thursday, we all have stuff to do, but I do appreciate you guys coming out. And I would like to give a big warm welcome to Miss Monroe. She is great. She will really help us all out. She helped me out a lot. So basically, my name's to as many people as possible. So, and we're primarily doing it this week because VRC priority registration is coming up on October like 28th, I believe. And so it's really important that you guys have everything in order. So basically, I was hoping to start out with a few questions for Ms. Monroe so we can start going through and open the floor. And then after she answers a few questions, and we'll open the floor up to you guys. And that's generally how it's going. So Ms. Monroe, if you're ready, we can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Beth Monroe. I'm one of the school certifying officials here at Nova Southeastern University. And I do have my counterpart with me, Ms. Lagunita Dukes, on the call as well. Lagunita, if you can introduce yourself also. You may have to unmute yourself, Ms. Dukes. Okay, seems like she may be having some technical issues. As I mentioned, Ms. Dukes is on the call as well. We're both the school certifying officials. We are your primary point of contact for education benefit related questions or concerns in terms of reporting your enrollment to VA, or if you have any issues with your monthly stipends, changes in your class schedules, things of that nature.
All right, thank you very much. So I have 3 questions I would like to ask. So for number 1, I think this is kind of a big one that everyone kind of faces when they're first starting out is how do I get the certificate of eligibility?
Okay. In order for a student to receive their certificate of eligibility, they must first apply for benefits with VA. And you can do that online at va.gov, or you can contact the Education Services Contact Center at 888-451-4552. Your application is received by the Department of Veterans Affairs. The review process can take approximately 6 to 8 weeks. If your application for benefits is approved, VA will issue your certificate of eligibility, and that certificate has to be submitted to my office.
Thank you. And so the next question is, how do I receive payments from my VA benefits?
That depends on what type of benefit you are actually receiving. Students who are using the post-9/11 GI Bill, which is often known as Chapter 33 benefits, and the Veterans Readiness and Employment Program, which is formerly VOC Rehab, that's Chapter 31. You have different benefits than the other students. So in order to receive any kind of benefit, whether it's a tuition component, your book stipend, or your housing stipend, the school certifying officials, meaning myself and Ms. Dukes, has to report your enrollment to VA. In order for us to report your enrollment to VA, we must have your certificate on file.
All right, and then the last question I have is about the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship Program. So is NSU participating in that? And if we are, how do you qualify for this program?
We do participate. We are a Yellow Ribbon school. We don't have limitations in terms of how many students can receive this award. in order to be eligible, you must be receiving the post 9/11 GI Bill at the 100% rate, and you cannot be on active duty. That is very important. If you're active, you do not qualify for this program. If you're receiving transferred benefits under the post 9/11 GI Bill, and you're also at the 100 percentile benefit level, you also qualify for this program.
All right, thank you very much. So we are going to open this up to you guys. I already know we have a question here, but just to reiterate, this is being recorded and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. So make sure you don't want to give out too much personal information, and just to cover yourself and so on and so forth. So we have a question is, I'm interested in the virtual study abroad program, but they are requesting a payment to reserve a spot. Will the VA pay for that? And what is the process?
It all depends on your benefit again. To reserve your spot, that actual fee is not considered tuition and fees. It's like a reservation. So my take on that is that VA will not cover this. However, if you are accepted into the study abroad program and you have mandatory tuition and fees, depending on which benefit you're using, your tuition and fees will be covered. So primarily this would apply to Chapter 33 students and Chapter 31.
So another question, and so this is more directed towards me. I missed what you said about the VRC early priority or early enrollment. I'm sorry, I must have misspoke. So basically we receive like priority enrollment. So our date to enroll is sooner than some other students. So you should have received an email, and if not, just log into DegreeWorks and then you should be able to find when your registration date is. And so, is that correct, Ms. Monroe?
Yeah. Mia, if I can piggyback a little bit on what you just stated about priority registration, most priority registration for our veteran students will open up 1 week before the official registration dates start. I would encourage everyone to access your academic calendars and meet with your academic advisor just to find out what those dates are.
Thank you. And so we have another question. Does the GI Bill apply for summer classes as well?
It does. We have to keep in mind, I assume that most of the participants are currently using their education benefits, gauging from these questions. We have to keep in mind that there are annual GI Bill rates. You would have to exhaust your GI Bill rates first. If you have remaining entitlement for summer, then yes, you will be covered. If you exhaust your benefits for the year and you're eligible to receive Yellow Ribbon funds, you can use this program during the summer as well.
Okay, and then another question is it possible to use the Montgomery GI Bill after exhaustion?
Yeah, she cut off, but the question is it possible to use the Montgomery GI Bill after exhausting post 9/11 funds?
Okay. Eligibility for any of the veteran benefit chapters is determined by VA. Therefore, I do encourage you to contact VA directly to answer that question. And I believe we missed a question earlier regarding the Yellow Ribbon. I think Ross asked this question before we get from the Yellow Ribbon program. Is that something we have to apply for every year or just one time? You only have to submit an application one time. It's automatically renewed if you meet the eligibility criteria. If you do change programs of study or college, then you do have to reapply.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So a question about early registration. So basically, is early registration only for vets, not dependents? So are dependents able to have early registration?
You should receive the early registration as well. If you're not categorized under that level code, please contact your academic advisor.
So we have a question. So to contact the VA regarding the Montgomery GI Bill, do we have a good contact number? So if we do, we could probably post that in the chat. That way they can copy it and don't have to worry about writing it down.
Yes, Ms. Dukes, if you can please post that number in the chat for us. It's very easy to remember, guys. It's 1-888-GI-BILL.
All right. And then the next question is the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship a guaranteed scholarship, or is it first come, first served basis?
It's pretty much guaranteed if you meet the eligibility criteria. Once you submit your Yellow Ribbon Scholarship application to the university, a letter of determination will be sent back to you. Again, you have to be eligible to receive a post-9/11 GI Bill at the 100% benefit level, and you cannot be on active duty.
So
Okay.
I have another question. If you have the GI Bill, but your months exhaust in the middle of the year, does it continue to fund until the year's up, or does it end at the month that it's supposed to end?
VA will determine that. In some cases, I've seen that students' benefits are paid out through the end of the semester. It all depends how many days and months you have left in remaining entitlement. Now, I do have students who start the semester and may only have 1 week left of benefits, and in that case, your benefits will be prorated.
Okay, so another question is Voc Rehab another educational benefit you can use with GI Bill?
You are only allowed to use one benefit at a time. So if you're currently using your GI Bill, you would finish off the semester with that benefit, and then once you get approval for Voc Rehab, you'll start the next semester using that benefit.
And then another question was, what are the benefits of early enrollment?
Early enrollment in terms of priority registration, is this what you're asking?
Yes, because I'm in the grad school program for business. So I just wasn't sure if like some schools are different because my wife goes to Nova for her PsyD and she says like they have to register at like midnight to get like the classes they want. So I don't know if that was the same across all schools.
Priority registration, the benefit to priority registration is that you're able to select your classes early on, usually 1 week before the official registration opens up for everyone else. And the advantage to that is that you're able to secure any specific classes that you are interested in before they actually get filled up pretty quickly.
I have a question. I registered for class and applied for the GI Bill in August, but the yellow ribbon I didn't apply until like September. So does that still affect, or does it come later, or how does it work?
You can apply for the yellow ribbon at any point. There is no deadline for you to submit an application. However, we have to keep in mind that the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship Program does not automatically kick in right away. You have to use up your GI Bill benefit first before that kicks in. You don't have to do anything in order to use your benefits. If you've been approved by our office, we will automatically request payment from VA whenever you exhaust your GI Bill component.
So does that mean, well, I have 8 months left on the GI Bill, and my program is 24 months. So at the end of that 8 month, when my GI Bill is over, then does the yellow ribbon kick in, or do I have to borrow like a loan to pay for my tuition?
Okay, so you sort of use Yellow Ribbon and GI Bill at the same time. If you no longer have post 9/11 GI Bill benefits, you do not qualify for the Yellow Ribbon. So the way the Yellow Ribbon works is, for instance, for this academic year, if you're receiving 100% benefits, your annual rate is over $25,000. So you have to use up your $25K within the year first before we're allowed to use any Yellow Ribbon funds. So for the most part, students will not use the Yellow Ribbon in the fall term because the new year for VA starts August 1st and you have a new pool of funds to utilize. Most students begin using their yellow ribbon in the winter session because you only have a certain amount left from the $25K to use for tuition and fees. If your tuition and fees exist what you have remaining left for that year, then the yellow ribbon will kick in at that point. And you can use both at the same time, yellow ribbon and GI Bill. However, if you deplete your funds at any given point, you cease to have eligibility in the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship Program. So in your case, Ms. Ho, you would actually have to seek alternative funding options such as student loans, private loans, payment plan options to cover your balance once you exhaust all of your benefits.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have a quick question. Maybe not that quick, but I'm a senior, and next semester will be my last semester. I only need 2 classes for my degree, which means I will not meet the 100% or the 12 credit requirement to be a full-time student. Can I take classes outside of my degree plan and still be considered a full-time student, considering it's my last semester and I only have 2 classes, or like I said, only 6 credits left on my degree plan?
Please contact our office, Mr. Hadish. There are some special conditions that will allow you to be considered full-time. We need to communicate with your academic advisor so that we can confirm that, okay?
And then one other question with that is, I know Nova offers credit for internships. Would internship credits from Nova count towards the full-time credit requirement?
As long as this internship is degree applicable, meaning that it's necessary for you to complete your degree.
Okay.
All courses that you registered for, including internships, must be degree applicable in order for it to be reported to VA.
Okay, and even, well, all right, and I'll talk to you more about that then when I contact the office in regards to
During your
only
final
having 2 classes left.
semester, there are some special conditions. You can reach out to our office directly and we can explain what those conditions are.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we had this one. I had confirmed that my classes for the whole semester would be covered even when my funds ran out in the middle of the semester, but that ended up not being the case because of Nova's 4 weeks classes. The VA did not end up covering those costs, and I had to cover all the tuition the entire semester. So
Okay, I would encourage you to contact our office directly. We would need additional details like your NSUID number, and we'll have to review your enrollment and also how VA processed the claim for you.
yes. And then another question was, there's a class I want to take out of my degree plan. Can I do that?
Okay, if I can get a little more clarification on what the request is from this, the person who posed the question.
Yes. There is a specific class of business analytics. Business intelligence that I would like to take. I'm a finance MBA major, but I'm just really interested in business intelligence. And that class is outside of my degree plan. So I was wondering if that would be still possible to take later on.
Okay, so you can take any classes that you want. However, if it's approved obviously by your academic advisor, but if the specific course that you're interested in is not degree applicable, our office is not able to report that for VA in order to use your benefits for that. So it wouldn't count as the classes we report to them. However, if you feel that there's an error with your degree audit and this class should be included, you should definitely consult with your academic advisor on this.
Okay, makes sense.
You may be able to take it as an open elective, but this is really outside of our realm, which is why I'm referring you back to your academic advisor.
Right. Yeah. It's not available as an open elective. It's completely out of it. But I will get with my academic advisor when it comes time to take it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's all the questions I saw in the chat, unless I missed something. If I do, please.
Okay, I think there's another question. Academic year, August 2020 through August 2021. The academic year at NSU runs from July 1st through June 30th of every year. That is NSU's academic year. VA's academic or fiscal year begins August 1st and ends July 30th. So if you are receiving the post 9/11 GI Bill benefits, your funds will replenish every August 1st.
So does anyone have any questions that they will want to ask, or if we missed any of them?
Right at this point, are you? Can we only contact you via email, in person? Are you guys at the university? And I don't know how that works right now. I haven't been on campus too much. I think this is only my second time actually being here this
Okay,
semester.
both Ms. Dukes and I are on campus. If you need to meet with us, we can meet with you at the one-stop shop and not in our offices because of the current conditions with COVID. However, you can also reach us by telephone and email.
Awesome,
And Ms.
thank you.
Dukes, include our contact information in the chat. That'll be great.
So,
Okay, Mia, I think I lost you. I'm not sure if you mentioned or asked a question at the end.
yeah, sorry, I just got kicked out. But I was going to ask, what do you think the most common mistakes are that veterans or military affiliated students coming in, and how to avoid those?
I think a common issue is not knowing the process. So I do encourage anyone who intends to use their education benefits to contact our office so they can have a one-on-one counseling session and what the requirements are. You know, we can go over the application process with VA, what to expect once you receive the certificate of eligibility, and what the NSU process is. And if there's any additional documentation that's necessary outside of your certificate, we can provide some information on that also. I think it's critical that if you have any question, whether you're a new student, a continuing student, in terms of your benefits, that you contact our office and not let your days go by. A lot of the issues is that the reporting with VA is time sensitive. So if you're changing your class schedule, you have some doubts about what your proposed class schedule will be for the next semester, that you communicate with our office.
Okay, and then another question is, do I have to fill out the FAFSA every year if I use the GI Bill?
Okay. The FAFSA is not a requirement for everyone. However, we do encourage you to submit an application, especially if you're an undergraduate student. Some undergraduate students may qualify for state and federal funds. And some of these funds are refundable. For instance, the Pell Grant. That's a fund that can be refunded to you if your tuition and fees is covered in full by VA. So even though it's not a requirement, we do encourage you to apply.
Does that apply to graduate veteran students as well, or is that mostly for undergrad?
Well, for the graduate students, if you're seeking student loans, which is your only option for federal funding, you do have to complete a FAFSA. It's not a requirement for you to receive your GI Bill. However, if you're searching for additional funds and you're interested in student loans, then yes, we do encourage you to apply. And if you're seeking student loans, I do warn everyone, please borrow what you need. You know, it's very important that you be very mindful of what you accumulate in terms of student loan debt.
So I am not seeing any other questions. Does anyone have any that they would like to either put in the chat or ask about at this moment?
I do have another question. For graduate student, if they exhaust their GI Bill, have you seen anyone that using the voc rehab after they exhaust their GI Bill for a graduate student?
Yes, it's actually very common. I've worked with several students who've exhausted their GI Bill and was approved for the voc rehab after. If this is something that you're interested in, I encourage you to start researching and contacting your local voc rehab office. There are some tricks to the process in terms of your monthly stipend. I'm not the professional in that area. However, I do know that if you leave at least 1 day left of your post 9/11 GI Bill and you apply for voc rehab benefits, your monthly housing stipend will be based on your GI Bill rate versus voc rehab. And it's my understanding that the GI Bill housing rate is much higher than the voc rehab. Okay. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that. I have confirmed it before with VR&E counselors. If this is something that you're interested in, before you run out of benefits, please start your application process for the next benefit and have conversations and your meetings with a VR&E counselor at the local office.
Thank you.
For those of you that are in South Florida, we have an office in Sunrise. It's located on Commercial Boulevard. If you need more information in terms of the contact number for that office, please reach out to my area.
So another question would be,
You can, whoever asked that in the chat, you can, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I looked at it. You can use voc rehab afterwards, but like Ms. Monroe said, if you get voc rehab prior to exhausting your GI Bill benefits, then from what both her and I understand, again, I'm not an expert either, you will actually keep the same housing rates, which I think last time I checked were almost triple the housing rate you get on voc rehab.
And just to piggyback on that, for that reason, most of the VR&E counselors will ask you to submit an application for that benefit before you exhaust your GI Bill. However, yes, to answer the question that you posed, you can still apply even after you exhausted your GI Bill benefits.
I seen something that one of my friends posted that if you're a veteran with 20% disability rating from the VA, like I don't, maybe it was wrong or maybe I misunderstood it, but you can switch to the Chapter 31 and it covers everything. But I think what the post said, it like you get the same BAH, but I'm not sure. Like I'd have to look at it again.
To determine eligibility for the voc rehab, you should definitely submit an application. The determination is made by VR&E. In terms of your housing rate, if you do have at least 1 day left when you apply for voc rehab and get approved, you do get the higher housing rate.
Okay, gotcha.
so another question was, can we set up appointments for your office to go over the degree plan? I don't know. I got cut out, so I was just making sure that question was answered.
Okay, so the degree plan is an academic function, and you would have to discuss that with your academic advisor.
Okay, thank you. And so I think this one I've called the Sunrise location many times and couldn't get through, so I don't know if that was relating to voc rehab or not. So they're just saying they've been trying to call and they couldn't talk to somebody. Do you have any suggestions for them?
My location is for voc rehab. That is correct. It's my understanding the staff is working remotely. If you do need to get in contact with your specific VR&E counselor, email them directly. However, if you need to get in contact with that office because you're interested in applying for benefits, please reach out to my office and we'll give you the generic email address for that location.
And I saw that the question of like how are housing rates drastically different, or if I'm assuming for voc rehab, and I saw Ms. Dukes was like answered, you would have to contact the VA directly regarding the amount of the housing, and they will pay out the determination by them. So I just want to make sure everyone saw. I do apologize for my internet connection. I'm stuck in my dorm and we don't have the best. But any other questions? Oh, okay. Nope, never mind. That wasn't a question, I think.
Okay, I'm not sure if Prashal received the answer to her question. Is it better to use voc rehab first because you get an additional 12 months? It's really at your discretion. We encourage you to contact VR&E directly and VA to discuss the options that you have. And you may want to gather information, review your degree plan with your academic advisor as well before you make a decision.
Is it normal to get like little deposits of the book stipend every month? Because I've gotten like a couple ranging from like 100 to like, and my last one was like 250.
It's my understanding you receive a one-time payment at the beginning of the semester. Unless you've made changes to your class schedule that prompted my office to submit amendments to VA. Have you contacted VA to discuss those small payments?
No, I just figured that what it was because right before the semester started, I did like drop and add some classes, so probably that was it. But
yeah, every time we you add or drop a class, we have to report those changes to VA. And if that affects your benefits, then you may receive additional funding.
okay, makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions that we would like to ask or anything you're just worried about? I will take that as a no. So I want to thank you all for coming out. You guys all had great questions. I know I learned a lot. And Miss Monroe, Miss Dukes, we really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedules to speak with us. So we look forward to working with you more.
Thank you for having us. Guys, if you have any follow-up questions, you can reach us directly. Ms. Dukes placed our contact information in the chat. You do have our direct office lines and email addresses listed there. However, we do have a priority call center line that's designated for you. If you cannot reach us on the phone, please feel free to use that number as well. Just in case it's not posted, it's 954-262-7236. And I'll repeat that again for you. It's 954-262-7236. You can reach us directly by email. You can use the priority line. Feel free to pop in, and one of us will be here to assist you also.
Alrighty, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please stay safe and healthy. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.